Speaking of Josh winning, Bing and DuckDuckGo have both decided to lift their ban on Kiwi Farms.net, and I think that's because I complained to DuckDuckGo very loudly, and they probably complained to Oath, and then Oath lifted the spam. Now, it makes me wonder, because none of the companies actually replied to me, except Bing, who replied to say that they can't speak on why we're listed as spam, but they replied to me after the spam had already been lifted. So they're not very coherent over at Bing. But I think what happened is somebody at Oath, which is owned by AOL and Yahoo, their parent company, which is Verizon Media, I want to say. Verizon Media owns both Yahoo and AOL and owns Oath by extension, which is used by DuckDuckGo and Bing. So when you think, oh, there's like all these other small, shitty alternative search engines, no, not really. You got Yandex, you got Google, you got Baidu, and then you have Oath in a million different skins. I think Ask Jeeves also uses Oath. But Oath lifted it. And I think that's because like some tranny or whatever in Oath probably, like in act of defiance blacklisted us as spam. And then the moment that got reviewed by anyone else, they're like, what the fuck is this? Why is this blacklisted as spam? So I think it got restored. But I'm putting it as a notch on my bedpost. I have successfully laid low the menace. Actually, you know what? Let's listen to Low Tax before I play that.
He knows me for, besides creating 4chan and the Nazi Party, is that I'm an honest man, and I'm a good man with a lot of donuts, between 1 and 25 donuts. Oh yeah, and Kiwi Farms, I did that too. I'm Kiwi Farms. I dox people. Okay. People say, hold on, people say that, I would love to donate, but I don't have any money. You know what? Get money from somebody else. If you don't have money, just get it from somebody else. That's how you do it. That's how I do it. You somehow find a way to, I hate this music. You somehow find a way to have money from somebody else has money, they take their money, and then you give that money to me. That's how that works.
That's Low Tax, by the way, in case you didn't recognize it. Oh, somebody said in chat, you can't see it if you're watching, because my chat blocks it. And Antilles says, man, Kiwi Farm sucks. Well, fuck you, Antilles, you motherfucker. That's rude. You know what? You know what's really weird about this? Is look at how much Low Tax looks like Ralph in this. He looks so much like, especially that jail photo of Ralph. I'm going to pull this up. Because I feel inspired. Hopefully my results are going to be work safe. So far, oh, there it is. This. He looks exactly like Low Tax. Maybe Low Tax is Ethan Ralph's father. They're very close. Oh, I'm coughing up a lung now. That's what I get for laughing so obnoxiously. Speaking of coughing up a lung, let's talk about McAfee. If you don't know, I was on a stream called WTF with I think they had a name very similar to mine. It's like the Anger Zone or something. But McAfee was there. And I gotta say, kids, don't meet your heroes, as they say. McAfee seemed very disinterested in everything he was talking about. And he was very disinterested in running for president. He was very disinterested in actually fixing things, which made me wonder, like, okay, you're doing this for like a publicity stunt, and that's fine. But what are you generating publicity for? And I guess it was just for like his cryptocurrency stuff. But then even with that, I asked him, it's like, how do you get normies into crypto? How do you get a normie to go out of their way to learn how a wallet works, how fake internet money works, how to understand that there really is no difference between fiat currency and Bitcoin in terms of how that works? How do you do that? Oh, and his reply was just to advertise one of his products. And it was very was very disheartening. I don't know why I expected some kind of weird, otherworldly wisdom from him. But I was an idiot for that. I had interest in hearing what his beliefs were on internet backbones and censorship, and didn't really have any. I think the main reason why the CIA hasn't got him is because he's not really a threat. What's the point of putting effort and energy into capturing someone who doesn't really pose any kind of risk to the status quo or national security, I guess? Yeah, he said live on air that he was shooting up heroin as he was talking to us. And when he did that, I'm like, oh, so for the remainder of the interview, he's just going to be high. I don't know what I expected. I don't know. I just expected something more. Okay, there is one. I'm actually going to be calling another person during this because there's a guy on the forum, and his brand is digital forensics, and there is this fucking crazy woman named Padma Accord who has been trying desperately to remove a Kiwi Farms link about her. Now, she's using this weird... I've never seen anyone use this before. And she calls herself like an SEO master or something. But what that really amounts to is... what it amounts to is filing these weird, outdated cache things on Google to remove links. I've never seen anyone do this before. This matter is confidential. You are hereby forbidden. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am hereby forbidden. Time to shut the stream off, boys. From disclosing any information contained in this letter to any other party, hopefully not 1,500 of them, and are hereby expressly forbidden from communicating with the client, referring to the client, communicating or contacting the client's known contacts, identifying the client, or publishing any and all information, including without limitation to the information at the center of this cyber harassment or any platform they wrote this really shittily. You are being given the opportunity to resolve this amicably before the investigation is escalated. Once again, you have, and this is bold and red, you have 24 hours after transmission of this letter to communicate your cessation of all activities conducted against my client. Please respond back to Digital Forensics Corporation, not even to him. Oh, I can just email him too. It's the same email address, or the same number. It's the same exact number. This is all like going to the same toilet. How interesting. Time to drink my water and prepare. This message will self-destruct. All right. Let me get cheeky breaky.
Thank you for calling DigitalForensicsCorp.com, the most experienced and technologically advanced digital forensics provider in the industry. Your call may be recorded for quality and training purposes. Please listen to the following options. If you know your party's extension, please dial it at any time. Press 1 to start.
Forensics, this is Taylor.
Hi, I got an email about the Kiwi Farms from, I don't think there's a name attached to this email address, but I just had to call this extension.
Yeah, it was from our investigations email.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just give me 1 second here so I can pull a couple of things up. Regarding the email, I mean, just to start off, do you have any questions or explanations?
Like explanations for what?
Just for why you're posting, defamatory content about our client, why you're engaging in this type of cyber harassment and bullying.
Well, the PDF attached is for multiple accounts across different platforms, and it doesn't exactly say how it makes the connections between the different accounts. None of them are me, so I'm not sure why I got the PDF intended for the person actually posting, but I imagine...
So you're not the administrator of the Officer Doodles Kiwi Farms account?
Well, okay. Number one, that's not a Kiwi Farms account. It says user. That's a Reddit account. The account in the screenshots is named LMR365, which is not a Reddit account.
Okay.
I'm the administrator of the site. I own the Kiwi Farms.
Okay. So you're the owner of Kiwi Farms and you allow this type of defamatory content to be posted about someone.
I don't know if it's defamatory. That would be a decision for a court.
Okay, well, the reason that we're contacting you is because, I am speaking on behalf of the law office of Digital Forensics Corporation. So we do have an in-house counsel, and this is an issue that has been ongoing for months now. As you can see, we were retained in July. So there have been, several platforms, including yours, Kiwi Farms, that have been posting defamatory content and, quite frankly, cyber harassing my client. So what my job is to basically try to get in touch with all of you, to basically give you a fair warning, to show you some documentation, which I can provide more if you need, but basically show you some documentation of what is occurring on these platforms and what, you potentially could be held responsible for. So rather than taking legal action and getting the courts involved, this is more of a warning and a request to cooperate with us and get this content taken down, before this does escalate. And, that's not the ideal situation. That's not what we want to do. And, in no way is this a threat or anything like that. We're simply asking for just the cooperation because this is something that's been taking over, this innocent woman's life. I'm not sure how informed you are about this content or about the quote-unquote Padma McCord conspiracy. But this has just gotten really out of hand. So
In
your
what way?
platform...
What's been the consequence of people posting about her?
I'm sorry, what is the consequence?
Let me actually have several questions. First of all, are you
Sure.
a lawyer yourself?
I'm not an attorney. As I said, I'm a forensic investigator, and I'm working on behalf of our law office right now. We do have an in-house counsel that will be involved in this if it escalates. So as of now, I'm the forensic investigator working on this case, basically attempting to resolve this issue amicably without taking legal action.
Okay. I've received, I've hosted the site for about 6 years, so I've received all sorts of love letters and stuff. Usually when I get a cease and desist, which I guess this isn't a cease and desist technically.
Well, that is what it's intended to be.
Usually they list a statute, a statute relevant to the notice. And I don't see either a state or federal statute provided in the email. Is there a statute in mind for the content posted on the forum?
Well, for example, we're located in the state of Ohio. However, we have attorneys across the country that work with our law office. So as I'm sure you're aware of, the statutes are different from state to state. So no, those are not provided in this document, but they can be provided.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and give me the statutes, that would be helpful. Because right now, the document is erroneous. Because number one, the complaint is directed specifically at someone named Officer Doodles, and the Officer Doodles person simply makes a Reddit post saying that this information is available on the Kiwi Farms. And then the information available, the original post about Padma McCord is by LMR365, and he's not mentioned at all. So I'm curious, who is the person responsible for piecing together the information for this post?
So this information that has been pieced together, again, is a sample. There is quite a bit of content on your platform regarding my client. And yes, there are several other users that have posted content about her that have also been contacted asking to reach out to us so that we can explain the situation to them individually as well.
But if you don't know who these people are, there's not really much you can do about this.
Well, that's the thing is on, a general level, no, there's not, which is why we are taking, this is really just a courtesy to, put people on notice that, this is cyber harassment, this is defamation. Majority of these statements are false. You're posting out intellectual property of my clients on your platform. And I'm not just saying you specifically. Like I said, there's, quite a few people involved in this. But, there's a lot of issues here. Her personal information is being posted, including her addresses and phone numbers. That's a very big invasion of privacy.
But is it a
there
crime?
are photos and videos that she's taken. Well, yes, I mean it is. Like I said, state to state, the statutes are different, but cyber harassment and defamation is a crime. And I'm sure you read in the letter, I mean, this has potential to, get to a very serious offense. I mean, it could be a felony in some states. So we're just trying to prevent that and, just gain the cooperation of individuals. I mean, I think as a site administrator, you would, probably have some empathy for, someone who's being blasted on your platform. And would want to work to make your platform a more positive environment and not have someone, being harassed and defamed from all sorts of different directions, a lot of this originating on Kiwi Farms.
You said that your Digital Forensics Corporation has been retained by Putnam McCord since July 2nd on or about 2019. So that's about going on...
3 months about.
Yeah, 3 months. Out of curiosity, how much would a service like this cost?
Well, that's something you would need to talk to one of our case managers about, and I'm not really able to disclose any information about, what my client has paid to you. However, most of our services start around $1,500.
$1,500. So, I mean, I can't ask, but it's a non-zero amount, and over 3 months, you put together this. You got the name of the account wrong, and then your response to this presence of material on the site is that I, as the administrator, should seek a more positive environment for the site. Have you looked at any other thread on the Kiwi Farms?
There have been quite a few threads, and I see that it's a very inappropriate site. But and I also read your content removal policies, and I see a lot of the feedback given is very sarcastic and just really doesn't take these types of matters seriously. So again, that's why you're being sent this notice, so that you have an opportunity to take this matter seriously before legal action is taken. And again, this is not a threat. Legal action hasn't been taken yet. I'm a forensic investigator. Right now I'm investigating potential cyber crimes of cyber harassment, cyberbullying, defamation, intellectual property theft, and so on. So this is more or less, an opportunity, for you to better monitor this platform because, this woman is a real woman, and her personal information is being dispersed all over this platform. There is, there are samples of it provided in your report where, her name, address, birth dates, business information, all kinds of websites about her are being dispersed, family photos, information about her son, so on.
Would you happen to know what company owns my site? What company I technically represent right now?
Well, that's not something I've taken the opportunity to escalate yet. Like I said, this is the very initial phase. So, I mean, I'd be happy to, get more information and get our law office involved. But right now, my main goal is to kind of negotiate this with you and figure out a way to solve this amicably before having to take that measure.
I mean, I'm just curious because it's been going on for 3 months now, but you don't seem to know what the forum is about.
Well, it's been going on for far more than 3 months. That's just when the client obtained our services, and as outlined in the notice, this has been going on multiple different platforms. So we've kind of been just going down the list of platforms. This was the most recent activity, so that's where we started with this. And, myself and my client both have quite an extensive timeline of cyber harassment and defamation, including posts on your platform. Okay. So, I mean, much more information examples can be provided, and I'd be happy to provide those. I'll get the approval of my client, but as you know, I mean, it's your platform, it's public postings, so.
Yes, and just a heads up, a tip, the site's in Florida, called Locale LLC, and within the state of Florida, pretty much none of the things you mentioned are against the law, and federally they're not against the law. In regards to stolen intellectual property, they're used fairly for the purposes of criticism and ridicule, and I really wish you had told this woman that you're wasting her time and money.
Well, we're not wasting her time and money, but thank you for your concern. I've reached several account holders and platforms and had quite a bit of this defamatory content taken down. So if that's not something you're willing to discuss and do, I mean, that's okay. I see your sarcastic comments about, going to court and you will win and this and that, and I don't want it to escalate to that. I really think, what you're doing is wrong, but that's neither here nor there. This is something that is very negatively affecting my client's life and, can be considered an intentional infliction of emotional distress. So whatever we need to do, to take action to get this content taken down, we will, but this is just, a notice, that these services have been contracted and that, this is the process that will be followed if we can't, come together and cooperate on this. I think it's a pretty simple request, not something that any other individuals or platforms have chosen to, defend and argue. They're more willing to take down this content to kind of avoid, this escalating.
Well, that's why we're the best. Just a heads up, the person...
Oh, that's why you're the best. Okay.
Exactly. The person responsible for the post is unable to delete it. Nobody can delete their post on the forum. So in regards to the warning saying you have 24 hours to comply, if you do actually find this person, he will not be able to oblige the request in any capacity. I do have an address for you if you would like to take it down.
Of the individual?
I believe so.
Well, I mean, at this point, one, I don't really think that's information that you should be disclosing. What kind of platform manager gives out their, users' personal information, such as their addresses and things like that? I don't really think that's appropriate.
Suddenly
nor
you're
is that
concerned
anything
for
I'm
this
looking
person's
for.
privacy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am. If I'm talking to the account administrator and you're willing to just give out users' information, I mean, that's very concerning.
Well, do you want it or not?
No, I mean, I don't want someone's personal address.
Okay, I was just offering it.
Okay, well, I'm very glad that you think this is comical. Thank you for calling me, but I see that clearly we aren't going to be able to have a serious and mature conversation about this. So, moving forward, I guess what needs to be done will be done. I would imagine you and I will be in contact again.
All right. And can you give a big shout out to the 1,600 people watching this, please?
Absolutely not.
All right. You take it easy. Thank you, Taylor.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. I do like having fun on the internet, and that was a little bit of fun.